Step off the plane in Addis Ababa and the first thing that hits you isn't the heat, it's the air. Thin, cool, and almost sweet, carrying the faint scent of roasted coffee beans drifting from a nearby cafe. In the distance, you hear the low thump of tribal drums, and then, cutting through it, the melodic call to prayer. This is Ethiopia, a country that feels like it belongs to another time, yet refuses to stand still. Western media often paints one picture of Ethiopia: dusty roads, struggling villages. But here's the truth. This is a place where ancient rock-hewn churches share the skyline with glass office towers, where elegant women in embroidered dresses walk past bustling jazz bars, and where traditions thousands of years old still breathe. In the backstreets, for a foreign man, it's the contrasts that stay with you. The cost of living, about $420 a month for a comfortable life, seems almost impossible. The people are warm, the culture is deep, and the beauty, well, you'll see soon enough. This is not the Africa of postcards or charity campaigns. This is real Ethiopia, raw, refined, and unforgettable. And over the next few minutes, we're going to walk through its streets together, from the tribal south to the capital's neon-lit nights. 1. Geographic and political overview. Roof of Africa. Ethiopia sits high, literally in the Horn of Africa. Much of the country lies on a plateau over 2,000 meters above sea level, earning it the nickname the Roof of Africa. Here, the land rolls from jagged mountains to fertile valleys, broken by the scars of the Great Rift, a geological wound that has shaped not just the earth, but the cultures that live upon it. It's one of the only African nations never colonized in the Western sense, a point of pride you'll hear in conversations from taxi drivers to university professors. Over 120 million people call it home, with Addis Ababa as the political, cultural, and economic heart. Compared to some neighbors, Ethiopia feels stable, but it's a nation in transition. Rural poverty still stands in stark contrast to the capital's new shopping malls and cafes. As the headquarters of the African Union, Addis also hosts a swirl of diplomats, aid workers, and entrepreneurs, giving it an international energy that's rare in this part of the world. As a foreigner, you quickly feel that this is a country moving to its own rhythm, aware of the world, but never defined by it. 2. Culture, religion, and history. Where time runs differently, in Ethiopia, even the calendar works differently. The local year is 7 to 8 years behind the one on your phone, and it has 13 months, 12 of 30 days, plus one short month to balance it out. It's disorienting at first, but that's Ethiopia. Time here is a suggestion, not a master. The country is a tapestry of over 80 ethnic groups, woven together by history, faith, and trade. Orthodox Christianity dominates in the highlands, Islam thrives in the east, and tribal belief systems still beat strongly in the Olmo Valley. In Lalibela, you can walk down into churches carved entirely from living rock, their walls darkened by centuries of incense. In Horror, narrow streets twist through a walled city that has been welcoming and sometimes resisting outsiders for 1,000 years. Coffee isn't just a drink here, it's a ritual. A proper ceremony can last hours, with beans roasted in front of you, the air rich with their perfume. Women in flowing white cotton dresses embroidered with color pour the coffee in slow, graceful movements as if each drop holds history. Life here moves at the pace of conversation, not clock hands. 3. Beauty and personality of women, grace and warmth. There's a kind of elegance to Ethiopian women that's hard to describe, without sounding poetic, but maybe poetry is the only way. Many are tall and slender, with fine bone structure, almond-shaped eyes, and skin tones that seem to catch and hold the sunlight. Walk through Addis and you'll see a range of styles. A young professional in a sleek black dress and heels, her hair perfectly styled, a student in jeans and sneakers, laughing with friends. An older woman in a traditional Habesha chemise, its white cotton bright against the city's dust. There's history in their posture, a regal poise inherited from an empire that once claimed descent from King Solomon and the Queen of Sheba. But it's not just appearance, Personality matters here, and Ethiopian women are known for their warmth, hospitality, and loyalty to family. They are quick to smile, but slow to trust. Respect is the currency that buys affection. Dating in Ethiopia is a careful dance. In urban areas, casual relationships exist, but family approval still carries weight. Public displays of affection are minimal, private affection deep and meaningful. In rural areas, traditions are stronger and marriage is often the assumed goal. For a foreign man, the intrigue lies in this balance, a mix of traditional femininity and modern confidence wrapped in a culture that values connection over convenience. For daily life, cleanliness, attitudes, a rhythm you adjust to morning in Addis Ababa starts with the scent of fresh-baked injera drifting from tiny street stalls. Vendors balance baskets on their heads, selling warm bread and crispy sambuses. To workers rushing toward bus stops. By midday, the tempo slows. Friends gather for buna, Ethiopian coffee in small cafes where the air is thick with roasted beans and conversation. A quick coffee might last an hour or two. In central districts, streets are swept and relatively tidy, lined with cafes and clothing shops, but step into the outer neighborhoods and the rhythm changes. Dust swirls with the wind, markets sprawl into the road, and goats wander past food stalls. Public transport is a patchwork of crowded minibuses and blue taxis. It's chaotic, but for a few cents, you can get anywhere in the city. Ethiopians value community over the Western obsession with schedules. Time feels fluid, buses leave when they're full, and a meeting plan for 2 p.m. might actually begin at 3:15. As a foreigner, you're warmly welcomed but also quietly observed. The adjustment, you stop counting the minutes. You live the day as it comes. 5. Cost of living, wages, apartments for $120 a month and comfortable living in Addis Ababa as a foreigner comes with an almost surreal cost-benefit ratio. A modest, modern one-bedroom apartment in a decent neighborhood rents for between $150 and $250 per month. For $300, you might even get a balcony overlooking the city. Utilities at another $30, $50. Food is equally forgiving on the wallet. A steaming plate of Doro What spicy chicken stew with injera might cost $2 at a neighborhood eatery. A cappuccino in a stylish cafe about 50 cents. A hearty dinner for 2 with drinks is rarely more than $8. Weekly trips to the market, fresh vegetables, meat, spices, run about $15, $20. Local wages are low, averaging $100, $200 a month, which is why foreign currency stretches far here. For someone earning remotely or with savings, for $120 a month covers rent, food, utilities, transportation, and the occasional night out. Spend $800, $1,000, and you're living a version of luxury, modern apartment, dining out daily, and weekend trips to nearby historic towns. The contrast can be jarring, sipping an imported wine in a rooftop bar while looking out over tin roof neighborhoods, but for long-term stays, Ethiopia offers a rare combination, low cost without sacrificing cultural depth or daily comfort. 6. Nightlife, fun, alcohol, music, where the drums meet. Jazz night falls in Addis with the pulse of a drum and the wail of a saxophone. Ethiopia's nightlife is unlike anywhere else, a marriage of tradition and modern cool. The city is the birthplace of Ethio jazz, a hypnotic blend of African rhythms, blues, and funk, made famous by legends like Maladu Astaki. Step into a dimly lit club in the Bold district and you'll hear it, a saxophone sliding over syncopated drum beats, the crowd swaying slowly, lost in the groove. For those craving energy, dance bars thump with Amharic pop, Afrobeats, and global hits. The air smells of sizzling tibs, ready for the post-dance hunger rush. Drinks are cheap and generous. Local beer costs about $1. Tej, the golden honey wine, is sweet but deceptively strong, and Iraqi, the clear local spirit, will test your limits. Nights often end not with chaos, but with laughter, Friends sharing late-night platters, music still playing from a nearby bar. In rural areas, nightlife is less about clubs and more about community. Weddings that last until dawn, festivals where everyone dances, and open-air gatherings where strangers become family. Here, the beat is different, but the joy is the same. 7. Safety, social freedom, laws, respect, and awareness. Ethiopia is, for the most part, a safe country for respectful foreigners, especially in urban centers like Addis Ababa. Violent crime against tourists is rare, but petty theft can happen in crowded markets or on busy public transport. Keep valuables out of sight, carry only what you need, and stay alert in crowded areas. The legal framework is conservative, shaped by tradition and religion. Public drunkenness is frowned upon and can attract police attention. Drug use is illegal and carries severe penalties. Disrespect toward religious customs, whether at an Orthodox church, a mosque, or a rural shrine, will instantly damage local trust. Dress modestly in rural towns and when visiting religious sites. Women should avoid short skirts, and men should avoid sleeveless shirts in these settings. If you're a foreign man dating a local woman, understand that relationships are often seen through the lens of family honor, and introductions to relatives can carry deep meaning. Political protests do occur, especially in the capital. While they're often peaceful, they can turn tense without warning. It's best to avoid gatherings tied to political activity. In short, Ethiopia rewards those who watch, listen, and adapt. Show respect, and you'll find the country opens its heart to you. After weeks in Ethiopia, you start to realize it's not just the landscapes, the food, or the history that leave their mark. It's the way a stranger in the market calls you brother as if you've known each other for years. It's the smile from the woman pouring coffee at a roadside stall, a smile that feels like a beam of sunlight breaking through the clouds. You remember the music drifting from an open doorway late at night, a mix of drums and saxophone, old melodies and new energy, carried on the cool highland air. You remember walking down a dusty lane in the golden light of late afternoon, passing families gathered outside their homes, laughter spilling into the street. Ethiopia asks you to slow down, to notice the small things, the scent of fresh roasted coffee, the sound of church bells at dawn, the colors of hand-woven scarves drying in the sun. It teaches you that strength lives in simplicity, and that joy can be found in moments, not possessions. For a man seeking connection, authenticity, and adventure, Ethiopia delivers it, not in grand gestures, but in human warmth. And when you finally leave, it's not a goodbye, because Ethiopia isn't just a place you visit, it's a place that stays with you.